Speaking of Tracy and washing dishes, for men only.
What we learned today, Bez Hashem, the Yom Tov, there's always two issues. Keep in mind, one is the achana, which is even without a malacha, this is the Rabbanan. And one is the Issa malacha. On Yom Tov we wash dishes. It could be, Shalei Tzarech is in malacha of cooking the water. Cooking food that's not needed that day is not just achana, it's a malacha as well. And basically, we don't prepare on Yom Tov for post-Yom Tov needs. We don't even prepare on Yom Tov for second day Yom Tov, that's like Chayil. And we don't even prepare on Yom Tov for Shabbos unless you have an Erev Tavshilin. The starting point is 12 times the Torah Kedosha says not to malach on Yom Tov. Yom Tov is like Shabbos. There's a hetav, oichel nefesh leboi b'yoyim. Cooking water, the conventional way for washing dishes, most poskim seem to agree that it's considered oichel nefesh, not machshir oichel nefesh, and that's why it's mutter even if it was efsha liboi b'yoyim. We did see a person should not play around with the issa of washing dishes. Taf mem dal regarding erpes shechal b'Shabbos, or Taf nun tes regarding kalim that were used to bake matzahs. Even though you're worrying about a chametz issue, you can't wash it if you're not going to use it. So we see minei ube, even though it's taka mutter, but you have to be careful. It shouldn't be a zilzul in the issa v'achana. Whatever is needed, if there's a reason, it's mutter. If not, ayidei akum, but not to do a malacha of even washing, which is non-malacha. Using hot water from the sink is a little more challenging because the water that comes out is fine. The water that is cooked in its place is shaloi l'tzoyrech. There are two basic aterim. One heter that lamaisa you might use it again, or if Shlomo Zalman's heter that this is the way of using it and it's considered tzoyrech. So the minigal must be makel, but remember that this is only by the conventional hot water tanks. The tankless boiler works totally different way, that when you take out the water, you're actually putting on the heating element. And that, of course, is a psikreisha of a ma'aseh b'yadayim, of putting on a electrical appliance on Yom Tov, which is awesome. A second night of Yom Tov, there's always delays, expect delays, but we did see a svarti mekel hachana, which is no malacha, washing dishes, setting a table, after the earliest man that you rely on for Yisurei D'Rabbanan. When a person does malacha between Shabbos and Motzoi Shabbos, whether it's this year, Pesach or Shavuos, Baruch HaMavdil ben Kodesh leKodesh. Don't forget to say that, unless you say about Taitianu, but women should say Kodesh leKodesh. We don't say a Baruch HaMavdil between the first and second day, even though there's an Issa Malacha, but it's not an Issa Malacha of Yom Tov, it's an Issa Malacha of Achana. The Issa of Achana is only when there is no reason. If it's only achana and b'makam tzarech gadol, b'makam mitzvah, you're allowed to have a goy do hachana for you. That's a regular shvus to shvus b'makam tzarech. If a person can't be soivel the odor or the possible infestation that dirty dishes sometimes causes, so there's a heter to wash for now. You're doing it for now. But then it's only mutter to rinse the dishes or wash them with cold water, but not to do the malacha of bishul mayim for that washing. Another halacha that's kedai to mention is if you have a set of 12 lamashal and you only use 2 dishes at Friday night or Yom Tov, you're allowed to wash that because you're going to use it tomorrow, even though you have other dishes. Now, typically we're not saimach on that, but if people feel it very aggravating to have this accumulation over 2 or 3 day Yom Tov, so we put the two together. You could wash the same dishes and use them over, and therefore you trim the amount of accumulation from 3 days into basically one service that you're going to have for a few hours. The actual washing of schita applies to a Yom Tov also, using a sponge or steel wool. Liquid soap, the minig is to be makel. A bar soap is also even on Yom Tov. Rubber gloves, plastic items, there is no real issa of shviyasei zilki busay, but you shouldn't rub vigorously. That's where Moshe says, pouring hot water on congealed gravy is, although it looks like moila, but it's not considered moila in this respect, because it's not nicker. A cholent pot, chacham ein roishay Shabbos, you finish the cholent, put it away right away in the right place, that it won't be distressing for the next few days. Using a dishwasher for storaging is mutter, because that's the tzorech for now, it's not a chana for later, but don't make boira. Washing a kaish aliyot that will get ruined otherwise. The tzarich is for now. The zman is for now. Washing dishes because of a chashash of gebrux, we didn't go through all the tshuvas, but there are at least a dozen tshuvas discussing what's the heta, how is it better than chametz mamish. So those that have the minig have to know that it should be done. Best would be just to rinse the dishes, not wash them. The akum is even better. But certainly if you don't have that minig, this is something that's really questionable, just like Erev Pesach is questionable. Washing dishes Erev Shabbos, if you don't have an Erev Tashilin, it's problematic because you have to use cold water where it's only hachana. I forgot to mention a beautiful point of our shir that there's a big question if Erev Tashilin helps for non-achila purposes. You're allowed to carry a talis Friday for Shabbos. Many places it's only mata achila. But it's interesting, even those that are machmir with that, the belt has got to make it, we do carry Friday for Shabbos, but even those that are machmir allow washing dishes with hot water the covered Shabbos. Because washing dishes is considered oichel nefesh in this respect, so it's better than carrying a talis. And the last point about cleaning an easy filter, it should be avoided because on Shabbos, most places molitzasa, but if it's needed on Yom Tov, it's a machshiri oichel nefesh, that's the efshemi by joim, and perhaps even Moirin came because it's unavoidable on Yom Tov itself. That's what it's telling you. Those that are machmor.